Hey guys, how you doing? It's VW Darren here, and the pregnant cat. Are you looking for a place to have those kittens? Anyway, we got the Mustang looking pretty good. Getting ready to put some base coat on it. Base coat and cat hair. And got a little email from Mr. Mattyg this morning. Wanted to answer some of your questions if I could for you. It's just my opinion, Mr. G. Here's a few little information tips for you. I got the book out for you. I prefer to go with the etch primer first. I'm going to send you one of these books, and it's a technical data reference manual. It basically just gives you an overlook of the products, whether you're using our products or another manufacturer. You want to always try to get these sheets when you buy your product, because it can give you a lot of good information. Different cleaners that you might use along the way. I like to use lacquer thinner on bare steel. That's my preference. Some guys out there use the vinegar water that Pete came up with. That's fine. Seems to work for Pete and a lot of other guys. We have a couple different etch primers. One would be the MP600, and basically you just want to go through and read the footnotes. Comparable substrates, that would be the surface that it could go over. This one is aluminum, galvanized steel, bare metal, and stainless steel. The stainless steel, you'll notice there's an asterisk next to the stainless steel. So anytime you see an asterisk, when it says it's able to be applied over that substrate, we need to go down and we need to read the text sheet, the footnotes. And usually there's a little something in there that that's not mentioned that really is important. So always read your footnotes. The 550 etch primer is what I like to use. It's an acid etch, so rather than having to achieve a mechanical grip to the steel, we're able to do it with a chemical grip. The acid actually etches into the steel, and it's a for sure bond to the metal. Here's the different substrates that this particular product's good over. OEM finish, galvanized steel, bare metal, aluminum, and E-coat. Again, I just want to say that you want to get the metal as clean as possible before you apply that product, is what that asterisk is for. And the way they have these products laid out in the book is sort of the way they want them applied on the car. You have your etch primers first, and then after our etch prime, the next thing that we would go into would be our epoxy primer would be next. I like to use the epoxy primer. I don't like to use it as a sealer. I like to use it as after you put your E-coat down. I like to put a couple coats of epoxy to do my body work on top of, and I like to seal the car with it, so if you're touching the car, the oils from your hands don't seep through the etch primer and get into the steel. The epoxy is sort of a barrier. It seals the elements from the metal, and it's a good foundation coat to have, as long as you go with the acid etch first to give you your glue for the epoxy primer. If you look in the comparable substrates section, they have the asterisk next to the steel section. Bare steel has an asterisk next to it. And if you read the footnotes down here on the bottom, they recommend that you either use their direct to metal primer or the etch primer, the 550 or the 600. So that's a step that's overlooked by a lot of people. You can put this over bare steel. They don't recommend it. It says bare steel right here, but then when you take and read the asterisk, it says that they prefer if you use the etch prime first to give it a bond. Before they took the chromates and all the good stuff out of the epoxy primer, you could put that pretty much on anything and it would stick to it. Some of the stuff that was bad for the environment obviously was good for the adhesion. So this is a step that we have to take now to ensure that the epoxy primer is going to, you know, stick to the car. So and then of course after you do your body work with your epoxy there, you can go right to your urethane primer. I know Matt over at Shut Your Face Garage, he likes to use the etch primer. Then he goes, or actually Matt actually doesn't even use the etch primer, he uses the polyester primer, which I personally never used before. I like the MP3 HS primer. That's the primer that you see Greg Porter using and some of the other guys. It's a really high build primer, easy to sand, and has excellent holdout. So I'll try to get you one of these books over there to Australia. It'll take a while to get to you. Send you a couple shirts. I need to get Ziggy's information too and send him some shirts. I'll just put your package together with Ziggy's since you guys are buddies, and get your stuff out. Get you one of these books. You and Ziggy can have some brewskis and look it over, and maybe the book will give you some information and somewhere to start. All the paint manufacturers in the US that sell any kind of products have to provide these sheets. So it's Greg started this. It's a good idea to have a folder, and every time you buy a product, just ask for the technical data sheet, and they give you a product sheet on how the product works and what it's intended for. The only other thing that I want to mention, if you do decide to put the epoxy primer down to do your body work over, any of the affected metal areas that you're going to have to do a lot of metal work to, of course you'd want to go ahead and take care of that before you epoxy the car. If you have a body work area, you just rough it up with 80 grit and go right over the top of the epoxy. You do want to make sure that your filler is okay to go over the top of epoxy primer. We ran into this problem online with a couple guys using the fillers, the cheaper fillers. They're not formulated to go over the painted surfaces, and they'll tell you right in the footnotes what kind of substrate they'll go over. I like the Rage Gold. I'm sure every product will be different in Australia. Evercoat makes the Rage Gold. There's several different brands. You want to make sure it's base coat, clear coat safe, so you don't have any bleeding issues, and again that you can go over a painted surface or a prime surface with it. And there's actually more Bondos on the market now that you can go over painted surfaces with than you can't. So shouldn't be hard to find one of those. This is my etch primer kit that I use. This is the acid. It comes in a plastic bottle. It's a 1-to-1. It's not a real high build product. It's basically just etch into the steel. It's the same principle as etching glass. If you poured this acid on a glass, it would just you know, eat into the glass, and that's what it does to the metal. So it's a chemical bond rather than a mechanical bond. This is the epoxy primer that I use. Again, the epoxy primer, you know, as long as you don't get carried away and hammer it on there too thick, you're fine. I think they recommend 0.75 of a mil, which isn't quite a mil. And as long as you don't get too carried away with it and get it too built up, you won't have a problem with the epoxy. It does say right in that book though not to put it over bare steel without etch priming it first. So look for some etch primer. I'll get this book going to you, get you some shirts coming your way, and I don't know how long that'll take, but now I don't know if you have a matrix dealer in Australia. I'll have to check that out. But like I said, whether you use this product or another product, it'll give you the basic information that you need. So you can look into it and refer back to the pages in there, and that way if they say I don't know what you're talking about, you can take your book and you can say I need something similar to this, you know. This has all the products that we use: cleaners, primers, base coats, clear coats, the additives, the FX series, which is the same as the House of Colors. So that will cross over for you on that stuff. And different color code information, stuff like that. It's sort of a cool book to have. I'll get you one out, get you one coming. A lot of the guys got them now. So yeah, I just wanted to make that quick video for you. What's up, kitty kitty? Meow meow meow. You pretty kitty kitty. Meow. All right, Mr. Matty G. I hope that helped you, Mr. Matty G75. If you need me to put some on the steel to show you how to apply it or anything like that, I'd be glad to do a panel for you, whatever I can do to help you out. I hope that answered some of your questions. Hopefully you'll see this video. I'm sort of better at responding on videos than with the emails. So I'm looking to get that Skype going so I can talk to you guys in Australia and Canada, so we can talk via webcam, and that might help us out, exchange information a little easier. So look for that. I know Milo's Garage has got his Skype cam set up. I look in on that every once in a while, so that looks like a cool idea. All right, mate, good day.